record first. Yep. Okay, so today we are going in the tutorial 5 for the tutorial. Okay, we are talking about the Arduino family. So, and more specifically, what you have in the Arduino. Okay, so the first question is, so what does the I/O stand for, and what types of the I/O are available in the Arduino? Okay, so there will be input and output port. So then Arduino typically has a general purpose I/O, right, which is the GPIO. So GPIO is for input output for the digital and analog wave. Okay, so it also has the voltage input, because GPIO or input output port is not limited to those port that you can plug in. So those constant or fixed input output also considered as one of the I/O port. Okay, like for example, input and output serial communications. Okay, so those are also considered one of the input and output. Okay, then the question 2, briefly describe what makes the Arduino platform attractive as an embedded systems computer. So it actually based on the selection criteria. Okay, so it is a low cost. It has a very simple programming environment, programming instructions. So it also can work across different platforms. Okay, for example, Windows, Mac, Linux, and it has open source of the hardware and software. So that's why it is so famously used. Okay, so then for an example that what an Arduino shell can do. So these are the shell. So you have the wireless network shell, GPS network shell, XBee network shell. So basically, it's talking about the wireless and the GPS measurements. Okay, so next, so of course we have, although they are all considered as a components, but we still have difference on the module and the sensor. Okay, so sensor is very easy. Sensor is talking about, okay, module first. Okay, module are the peripheral device that communicates with Arduino through serial communications. So sensor are the peripheral device that provide measurements of physical quantity. So either through serial communications or others I/O methods. Okay, so these are two things. So modules are those that can be communicates, okay, with Arduino. So everything like buzzers, okay, like LCD. So they are all modules because they can the LCD can receive any information and show it out. Sensor is only limited to provide measurement to the physical change. Okay, when we say physical change, we are talking about the pressures. It could be temperatures. Um, then as well as those what I call it, like infrared, okay, light intensities. So then you can all um, um, sense. So number 5. So what is the difference between a digital and analog signal? Of course. So what are the similarity? So for difference, digital signals only has two states. Either it's on and off, high or low. Okay, while analog signal is a continuous with infinitely many states. Okay, which means that it can conduct in the stages. Okay, then oh yeah, okay. Then the similarity for digital and analog are both provide information in the time domain, which means all will be given in the time. Okay, so for those that who come from tomorrow, please take a photo like your friend do, and then showing that you are in the classroom, and then give me your full names and ID in the WhatsApp. Okay, take a photo, show me, and then as well as the number, sorry, the name and the ID. Okay, next, if you want to prototype a jacket, okay, with Arduino, of course, so only, or there will be one Arduino family is very suitable. Okay, so like this one, okay, LilyPad. So because it is designed actually to use on the fabric, it is washable. Arduino. Okay, number 7. So what is the purpose of the crystal oscillator? So crystal oscillator is the timer. So it's like a heartbeat of the microprocessor. So to provide synchronized clock pulse to the Arduino board for timing critical applications. So for those input output, okay, we are all related to time. So and that's why you need a crystal oscillator. So next, okay, this is a very interesting question. Is it better to power the Arduino from a 5-watt source or using an unregulated 7 to 12 watts? Okay, so which one is better? Although both will make the board functioning, okay, but as you can see, so if the Arduino is powered through the unregulated voltage power, so it will make the regulator to work. So when the Arduino is draining at maximum current for a long period of time, so it put heavily strain on the regulator, which means that if the regulator will need to work, okay, if the power input is unregulated, which means that it will be not 5 watts. So any voltage, any input voltage that is not 5 watt, it will be tuned to 5 watt. Okay, so that's why, so it will be better if you can have a 5-watt sources, so to avoid using the onboard regulator. Okay, you can use your USB. So USB will have an incoming voltage of 5 watts already. Then number 9, okay, so state the purpose of a serial chip. So and explain why it is not possible to direct connect the processors to your computers via USB. So a serial chips convert the serial communications protocol to USB protocol. So it works as a chips. Okay? It works as a bridge between computer and the Arduino processors. So that's why because every serial communication is different, the protocol, the methods of their communications. That's why if you use USB, so there will be another method of serial communication is the USB. It's called USB lah, okay, the protocol. So it will be you need a serial chips to convert. Right. So next, okay, of course, this is another 2 type of the serial communications. So you have SPI and you have UART. So what is the good way of the SPI over the UART? So the main advantages that the SPIs can allow the microprocessors to communicate with a multi-device. So while UART is only one-to-one, okay, it's only received and transfer. But SPI, they have 4 cables, okay, and then it can command, okay, and command the slave, or we call it peripherals, to show something or to work something. Then of course you have you also learn I2C. So what is the advantages for the UART over the I2C? So UART is again it's an in and out. I2C, the advantages of I2C is the I2C can actually conduct the same thing as the SPI. It can command the slaves, but using 2 cables. Okay, so that is the advantages for the I2C. So then UART does not rely on which component being master of slaves. Okay, so so that both can be used to transmit data to another one. Right? I2C has a fixed master to multiply slave. So where slave can only transmit data to the master upon request. So that's why UART doesn't have a slave master scheme. So but I2C has. So I2C only can transmit the data based on the request. But UART, they can transmit and receive from both sides. So this is the difference between UART and I2C protocol. So describe the functionality of the flash memory, SRAM and EEPROM. So the EPRM, correct. So this is actually similar to the previous slide, slide 4. Okay. So flash is actually to use to store the program. SRAM is to store the variables when the program is running. And the EEPROM is to store the long-term data for Arduino, for example, version number, software details, okay, comes that. And then I think last question, or last two. So why there is a need of different types? Okay, I also mentioned this in the class. Okay, we have so many types of the memory. Okay, so because one of the reasons is because of the budget lah. Okay, so each of the memory has different speed to access, where faster memory is usually more expensive. So therefore, it is wise to have different tier memory where data that is not accessed often are stored in cheap but slower memory. So then the data that is often accessed will be stored in the SRAM. Okay, so last one. So how, okay, actually we just use 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so how do you know, okay, you have run out the available of SRAM, okay, which means that how you know your program, your coding can fit into the memory in the Arduino that you pick. Okay, so you can check the SRAM usage from the Arduino IDE. This is the software where you can input your programming codes into the Arduino board. Okay, you need this, else you cannot insert, you cannot just copy in, okay, because you need this software to transfer into it. And then while you transfer, okay, there is it will help you to check. So if you are more than, or if your program code is longer, very long, and use up 95% of the spaces, so it will show error, okay, because they don't want you to be in that case lah, okay, because 95% onwards it will have some, it might happening some error while you executing the code. Okay, so this is one of the parts that you never try when you use the online um, simulator. Okay, because online simulator you always can work it done. All right, so yeah, that's all. Okay, so that's all. Oh, okay, so how many people in here? Okay, 14. Today is
So can I join this group?
okay.
Can I join this group, the tutorial one? I'm from tomorrow's tutorial.
Yep. Sorry. Okay. You let me know your name and ID. Okay, let me know your
Okay,
name and
I
ID. WhatsApp. You WhatsApp me. So
okay.
for those that you come from this group, yeah. Okay, here. Okay, you can sign in now. Okay, for those that are not in this group, please let me know your what you call it, your name and ID. Okay, I will mark manually. All right. So, regards to the assignment 1 and 2, do you guys have any issue? So please let me know if you have any issue. Okay, for assignment 1 and 2. And then your midterm test will be until here lah. Okay, which is tutorial 4 and 5 are the theoretical questions. Okay, so of course, last but not least, make sure you know how to do all the tutorial. Okay, because the exam difficulties will be similar to the tutorial. Okay, so all right, so that's all lah. Okay, so anyone yet to sign? Okay, so let me know. So and then that's all lah. All right, super fast. Okay, so all right, I'll see you on tomorrow. Okay, so all right, thank you very much. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.